Well, hey there, everybody. Hi, hello, good morning. We're a little raspy today. We're having some good rasp. Welcome to the stream. This is the Daily Creative Challenge for Adobe Illustrator. It is nice to see you here. We've got Rose, we've got Aaron, Steve, of course, Richard. Nice to see you, and of course, our moderator Wade is here today. If you have questions, Wade's the guy. If you need a link to something, Wade's the guy. If you just want a new friend, Wade's the guy. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Andrew Hochradel. I am your host and pilot over these daily creative challenges. We are on challenge number 6. We are making our way through. We'll be going all the way to this Friday to round out our challenges and finish strong by creating all of those challenges together over the last 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and talk about what you need to do to get involved. First of all, you can come right here to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. You can click on this blue button and it will remind you every day that there's a new challenge. You also can scroll down and watch any of the daily creative challenges that you have missed in the past and download our source files. This is a really important one for today. You definitely need the source files. Today we are working with complex data, and that data is in the source file. So you can use imaginary numbers, but it's better if you use ours because you can follow along well. And Mercurio Forte, Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge, is the in-flight movie today. Good choice. Yes, it is. I'm here live at 10,000 feet, hanging out at your cruising altitude. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, that's because we are doing a theme for our challenge, and we are working with an aviation theme. When you're creating, there are no wrong answers, so you can do whatever you want on these daily creative challenges, but we have been doing an aviation theme so that we can follow along and all work together. We've been doing those challenges and posting our work over here on Discord. You can see the link bit.ly/AI Discord over there. And people have been posting their challenges from the last few days, like our signage challenge, the 3D type. Yesterday we were working with signage, and so it looks like a lot of you are doing that challenge and pushing things through. Looking great. Oh, this is so fun. Great job, Charlie. I love the pop 80s vibe revival. This is awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and hop in. And yes, someone said, Aaron, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. Today we are taking to the skies, but no clouds allowed in the skies. No clouds allowed in the skies today. We are going to be hopping in. So let's go ahead and take off to 10,000 feet and join me as we embark on our next travel on Hawk Airlines. Hey everybody, it's your captain speaking here. Today we are going to be taking you to flight school. We'll be doing some numbers and running some tests. We've got some guest pilots here that are trying to pass their tests. So we're going to take this complex data, put it into a nice little chart and graph for you. And let's go ahead and get ready for takeoff. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and make sure your Illustrator is open and ready to go. All right, we are back in the cockpit. Yes, Captain Hawk is back. We are here. Let's go ahead and hop over into Adobe Illustrator and see what our challenge is today. All right, we are going to be working today with complex data. So let's go and read our challenge for today. Challenge number 6, turn complex data into simple visuals using the radar and scatter graph tools. Now in the past, I have shown you how to do different kinds of graphs. Today is going to be a very unique chart and graph. We usually don't use the scatter or radar graphs a lot, but I wanted to show you how to create them specifically for this. We are going to be making some kind of panels. If we were working on something that needed radar or that needed some kind of scatter graph, we're going to work on those today. We're going to do the full green interface, the whole 9 yards. And so let's take a look at the complex data that we have. Down here, we have 4 pilots, and we're going to walk through them. So we have John, we have Andrew, we have Wade, we have Gus. We do have one more, but we're not putting the numbers in there because we don't talk about Bruno. So we're doing the average altitude, average speed, average distance, and the average tilt. So check this out. I'm thinking variables function. Richard, we could do variables and it would be a little bit crazy. But we're going to be working with all of these different pieces to create some very interesting kind of results. And we may work with 3 of these, we may work with 4 of these, we may work with comparisons on 2 people. What happened to Bruno Jack? We don't talk about Bruno. We can't be talking about Bruno in chat. All right, so we're gonna do all of this right now. Let's go ahead and hop in with our tools. If you want to, as always, you can check the right down there. The hotkeys are back on because we're going to be using some of them today. So let's go ahead and go over to the scatter graph, and the graph tool is right under here. It is third up from the bottom on the right side of your panel. It may be on the column graph tool. So you may see the column graph. That's great. It's a great kind of tool to create charts and graphs. That's probably the basic one that you're going to use. You also may use the bar graph tool over here. We're not using those today. We're getting crazy. We're going to start with the radar graph tool. A radar graph. Radar graph is used to plot kind of complex data. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to select the radar graph tool right here, and we are going to click and drag. Now, this is going to show the area that our graph is going to be taking up. So to do this, I am going to hold Shift. Holding the Shift, there we go, right there is going to make it so that it stays a perfect square. We do want that perfect square, and we are going to let go. Now, we're not going to see anything because right now it is all just black. What I do want to do is make sure that we can make this into something that we can see. Oops. See? Oh boy. Oh boy. Andrew hit every wrong thing there. All right. We're going to do that one more time because I definitely hit the wrong key right away. We are going to click and drag out to make this square. There we go. And from here, right now, we're just going to hit enter. And that's going to allow us to just lock in so that we can start using our hotkeys again. Let's go ahead and grab the magnifying glass tool, and we're going to zoom in. And you can see all of these lines are basically just the data that's going to happen. Now, these are not working for what we want right now. So what we can do is we're just going to double click into this graph. So if we double click, you can see that now we have the graph selected, and we want to make sure that our colors all look the same. So we're going to use a tool that we've talked about a little bit in the past, and that is the magic wand tool. Y is the hotkey for that. And we're going to hover over this line. And by clicking on the magic wands tool, oh, it's not going to select it for us. All right, let's do it a different way. Again, there's a million ways to do things here in Illustrator. We are going to use the direct selection tool, which is A, and select this line segment. Now you can see that this has a stroke on it that is black. From here, we're going to go to select, same, and we're going to go to stroke color. So check this out. It's going to select everything that has that black stroke, but it has selected something that also has a fill. So we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we are going to select that line one more time, and we're going to go to select, same, and this time we want to do fill and stroke. That will get us everything that doesn't have a fill and only has a stroke. That's what we want right now. So we've got that selected, and we're going to put it in a nice neon green. Oops. Have the wrong one selected there. Let's select the stroke, and we're going to put it in a nice neon green from our swatches panel. That'll help it kind of pop out and give us the effect we're looking for. Next, we are going to direct select the type here, and we are going to go to, again, select, same, fill and stroke, and that will do everything that has that fill and stroke. And we are going to create the fill in that green, and then there is one last piece up here that has a fill and a stroke on it that we are going to make green as well. So the cool thing about making that augmentation is as we put in data, it should keep all of that formatting for us. We will see if that's actually true. Now what we're going to do next is we are going to select this chart, and you can see that it popped up with this kind of group that we have here. Now we are going to need our data, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And with our panel, we can now type in this data. Now, the way that a radar chart works is it's going to be in columns, just like we have laid out underneath. Each column is going to be a category. So this could be for different, maybe kinds of food. It could be for different shipping invoices, whatever you want it to be, you need them in columns. We need to start to where there isn't anything on this column. Sorry, there isn't anything in the first box, and then we'll make it just like this column is down here. So we're going to type in our people. So we have John, we have Andrew, which is me, we have Wade, our moderator, and our good friend Gus is here as well. So in here, we are going to type in altitude, And y'all are going to see every single word that I type here. Sorry about that. Hotkeys are on. Distance and tilt. So I'm just hitting enter to go down and then tab to go across. So now let's go ahead and enter in all of these numbers that we see down here. So 10, and I'm just hitting tab to go to the next one, and we are just going to type in this chart. 8953, and then we're going down here. We've got 2, 6, 2, and 8. And then down here we have 4, 7, 8, and 2. All right, so we have all of our data in, and now the most important part, we're going to hit this check mark and watch what happens to our graph, fingers crossed. Boom. So our graph has been created. It has kept through all of these different pieces, but you can see that they've all changed a little bit. And the reason for that is it has actually created, let's go ahead and close that. It's created a nice little guide for us here, and it has created the different orientations of the different things that we're measuring, right? We have altitude, and you probably can't see this because it's on black. So let's go ahead and change this. We're going to do it a little bit of a different way, and we're going to go ahead and select right here, and then we are going to go to a different portion of our graph by right-clicking and then going to isolate selected graph. So it's going to isolate this first, so now we can see a little bit better, and we can see that things have gotten a little bit wonky and not exactly where we want them to be. The easiest way to change this is to hit Command A or Control A, and then go to Edit, Colors, Edit Colors, and then Recolor Artwork. So from here in Recolor Artwork, we're going to click on Advanced Options, and that's going to bring up all the colors that we have here. Now we do want the black here to go to a green. So we're going to hit yes and just click right next to this black. And then we're going to pull this into that hot neon green using the color picker. Come on. One more time. I dragged too far. There we go. So now you can see it live updates with that bright green. Now we want to use different shades of green so that we're still able to see the difference in these charts. So I'm just going to grab slightly different shades of green so that you can see a little bit of variation in those. We do want them to be pretty similar though. So from there, we're going to hit OK, and now we've reassigned all of the colors that we need for our chart. Now, I want to do some augmentations to this chart. Mostly, I just want to have the key up on top. So what we can do is we are going to grab our selection tool, and we are going to select this graph. From here, we are going to select our graph tool, and then we're going to open up the options. And to open up the options, we are going to hit the enter key. So no clicking, nothing. We have the graph selected. You have to have the chart tool selected as well. And we are going to hit enter. And now that is bringing up our graph options here. If we wanted to, we could switch this to other graphs. We don't necessarily want to do that right now because it would get a little crazy. So we'll leave it on radar. And we can add in some effects. We can add a drop shadow to each of these lines, which we don't want. We can add the first row in front. We can add a legend across the top, which we do want to do. So right now, the legend is on the right. It is mapping out everything for us. We actually want to add that legend to the top. So we're going to click there. And then we also can connect or disconnect these data points. And here, let's go ahead and disconnect these. So we are going to disconnect those and then hit enter to see what happens. It is going to change around, and now you can see it has completely disconnected our points, which we don't want. It looks crazy, so we're going to undo that and then go back and put that key back on top. So we're just going to go ahead and put the legend across the top, hit OK, and there we go. It has flipped everything across the top. It did change some of our formatting here. I don't know why we went not green. Let's go ahead and change that. Sure. So it has flipped everything to the top, or if we wanted to, you can come in and double click this and just delete this entirety. So, oops. We can remove the legend. Why is it not letting us remove the legend? We can remove the legend as well if we wanted to. But for now, let's move on to the other kind of chart that we want to work with. And yes, bogey at 7 o'clock, this is what that would be used for. You can see that it's going tilt to the left, altitude to the top, speed to the right, and then distance at the bottom. So now, what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and work on the side over here. And we are going to create a scatter graph. I just want to make sure that we have time to do that. So we're going to click on the scatter graph, and then click and drag again, holding shift to bring it out all the way. Now, a scatter graph is a little bit different. A scatter graph is basically going to measure two points, two options. So let's go ahead and work with the scatter graph, and we are going to put in some numbers here. And a scatter graph is, again, comparing two things of a range. So we're going to go ahead and compare Wade and myself. So let's go ahead and put Wade in here, and Wade is going to go right there in the top, and then I am going to go over here. Now you can do multiple entries, but you need to make sure that you have two columns for each. So we have Wade first, and then we have me, and maybe we'll do some variances here. So these are going to be our variances of speed. So maybe we have the average, right? So the average is these numbers because we did 2 runs. So let's go ahead and put in the numbers here that would be the averages of the altitude, the speed. So it would be Wade had maybe 10 and 8. We're going to do all kinds of crazy math. And then Wade, let's see here, also had 4 and 6, and then 1 and 3, and then 7 and 9. So there we go. We've got those two there. And now we're going to put in my variances, which would be a 7 and a 9. And again, we're just doing the averages here. So I'm doing 1 less and 1 higher, just so we can show the difference in these. And this is a very specific lesson, but it is a great tool to learn and to know well. So now we're going to hit apply right here, and you can see that it has applied all of those charts to us. There we go, looking pretty good. So you can see that it's actually hitting those numbers and the variances between the two. So we're going to go ahead and change the formatting of this one more time, and we are going to double click in here. And there we go, we have our graph. And what we can do again with our graph is we can add in some different options. So we're going to click on the graph tool again, and we are just going to hit enter. And that will go ahead and put everything in here. And we do want to connect the data. Maybe we don't. Yeah, let's go ahead and connect the data. And then we are going to hit OK. We are going to go in here and we can change all of these settings again with our charts and graphs. We are going to select, we're going to select this number over here, change the formatting on these, and I can just click and drag a selection there using the direct select tool. Oh boy. Andrew's hitting all of the wrong buttons every single time. All right, we're going to select that number. We are going to go to select, same, and there we go. Fill and stroke, change that to that bright green. Looking good there. That was a weird way to say there. Don't know what happened there with my mouth. We're going to do fill and stroke and just change that stroke to a nice green as well. And then let's go ahead and change this stroke as well. Clicking in here, grabbing that stroke, again, select, same, fill in stroke, and we're just going to change that stroke to a green. So now we've got a nice scatter plot of the back and forth of those two different averages. So you can see we actually have very similar averages between Wade and I. I didn't realize that there wasn't that much variance going back through, but that's how you create a scatter that will kind of plot points across. Now, if we wanted to, we could also take this data and convert it into something that would be more of a bar chart. And we can actually grab this same chart that we've been using. The same chart that we've been using, we can select it, and then again, we can come over to our chart tool and just hit enter. And from there, it's going to bring up those options, and we can change it maybe to a pie chart. And we do have a lot of different inputs because we have 4 inputs where a pie chart might want 1. So it may make 4 separate charts for us. Let's see what happens. I didn't experiment with this, but let's see what happens. So you can just select a different kind of chart like pie, and we're going to hit OK. And yes, it did. It made 4 different charts for us. And we can see that it has the altitude, the speed, the distance, and the tilt, as well as our guide here. So if you decide that you want a different kind of chart, very easy to change, just clicking on that chart tool, hitting enter, and then clicking the chart that you want. There we go. And here we do have the columns. That's a lot, but we do have all of the columns. If we wanted to change some things like the cell style, We can come down here and change the width. Maybe we want these to go wider. And then maybe here we want to change the transpose back and forth. We also could import data. If you have a spreadsheet or something, you could import data as well. And that would be pretty easy to import, and it will create that chart for you. So again, this is how to create charts. It's a little bit of a doozy today, but we did make something that is interesting. Now, what I want you to do is to create your own chart and graph using these tools. You're going to take the complex data, and then you are going to make sure that you post it over. Oh, wait, let's take you to the cockpit. There we go. You are going to want to post that over on Discord. And the way to get to Discord, again, is right over here. bit.ly/AI Discord. And we are going to post that over here in the challenge tab. And you can do a screenshot or you can export. And you know what? Let's go ahead and show you how to export real quick. We haven't covered that in a lesson, but let's show you how to export so we can have a nice, high fidelity, awesome image for you to work with. So hopping back over here in our Illustrator, we are going to take this, and there is a bunch of stuff all over the place, but we want to export just what is on the artboard, which is just inside this black area. So we're going to go to File. We are going to go to Export. And from there, we are going to do Export As. And this will allow us to export something as. There are a couple options that you may want to choose here. We could do a JPEG, which is just a regular image. We could do a PNG. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphic, a little higher quality, won't deteriorate over transitions or anything. So now we're just going to do a JPEG because we just need a lower amount. And we actually want to make sure that the Use Artboards is checked. Now, if you don't have these options checked, what it's going to do is it's going to export the entirety of everything you've worked on. So we're going to do that real quick. I'm actually going to set it to PNG so that we can see a little bit better because it will show us a preview. And we're going to hit export without the Use Artboards checked. And watch what happens. You can see the preview down here. It's literally trying to export the entirety of all of the things, right? Everything that's on our entire file. We don't want that. So we're going to hit cancel here. And again, we're going to go to File, Export, Export As, and from here we are going to click on Use Artboards, and then the PNG. We want to make sure that our artboard range is also set to whatever artboard we are using. Now, if we want to see the artboard that we are using, there is a way to see that. Let me go ahead and do this. There we go. The artboard is actually down here at the bottom. Hold on. You guys can't see it. I got you. There we go. The artboard is right here. You can see a little number. Now it is in that bottom panel. So this little number there says 1, and that will show you whatever artboard is selected. So you can go to File, you can go to Export, you can do Export As. And if you have a ton of artboards, you can click on Use Artboards, Range, and then make sure your range is set to whatever you want to export. So you could do 1 through 5, you could do just 5, and this will tell you whatever artboard you are actively working on. So we are doing 1 right now. We're going to hit export, and from here with a PNG, we could do a transparent background, but we're just going to leave it with white. The screen resolution is fine for now, 72 dpi, and we are going to hit OK. From there, it's going to float and it's going to create that file for us. We're going to look at that file again. I'm just going to go back here so we can see it in our Finder. And now we have a PNG created, and we can take that PNG and put it back into Discord, just drag it over. And I would love to see some of these files, when I open them, have a little file name that has a PNG attached to it. If I right click and download these, it would tell me what the file type is. So I'd love to see some PNGs. I'd love to see some JPEGs. If you take a screenshot, that's also fine. It will probably export as a JPEG as well. So post in Discord, join our community. Again, here is that Discord link for you, bit.ly/AI Discord. And we will be back again with a daily creative challenge every day for the rest of this week. If you're watching the daily creative challenge replay 2 weeks from now, hi, hello from the past. Hopefully you're enjoying these challenges. And if you are here live today on January 11th, very special. Coming up next, we have Voodoo Val doing, I believe it's called the Graphic Glow Up Challenge. It's a really fun game show, so stick around for that and leave some sparkle emojis in chat for Val when that switches over in about 2 minutes. So I will see you again. Thanks so much. I'm going to take off into the skies, and I will see you tomorrow for a daily creative challenge. Bye.